Holy, welcome to Superchargers. I'm not gonna speak. Let's just get right into it. So, why am I playing Superchargers, guys? Alright, so, I think I just kind of want to prove something. One day I'll try and come across to what that very thing actually is. My remote, of course. Uh, Superchargers is such an interesting game to me because it's actually a really good game. Well, first of all, it's actually probably one of the most polished Skylander games we've ever had. In terms of polish, I think definitely VV specifically does such a good job. I mean, Imaginators, you don't count Imaginators. But Superchargers and Swap Force have this polish that no other Skylander game has besides, like, Spyro's Adventure. And I think that's pretty fucking neat. But I just want to play this game because you can see I'm using Spitfire, and that's one reason. So so Superchargers' balancing is so interesting to me because there was this like thing ages ago where like UNM was like, wait a minute. Superchargers just not hard like at all until you're at vehicle sections. And we all just kind of realized that the game is genuinely really fucking easy, like a lot easier than like your average Skylander game, I should say. Like Giants really set the stage for how difficult like the Skylander games can actually be. Swap Force kind of just mellowed out with it because it's just a little bit more fair. Well, not fair, but like it's I don't know. The balancing makes it so that like even the worst characters can keep up. But that's the same thing with Giants basically, but it's not as severe. And then Trap Team is like, you won't get a difficulty spike until the bosses pretty much, and even then the bosses really aren't that bad until Golden Queen and Chaos. And that's pretty much it. And then Superchargers really took this dip where the game was just like, well, obviously there's a really good thing you can do where obviously you can start the game in Nightmare mode. You don't have to beat the game, which I think is a great change. But that also kind of like, it might have been a factor into why this game is actually so fucking easy than the other games. It's just the enemies are so much weaker than in your average Nightmare mode experience, and there's a lot more factors to that. Like the more you play the game, the more you get PMR buffs, and your PMR buffs is basically your that's basically the main reason that's why Supercharged is so easy. When you gain your PMR buffs, you gain abilities like extra crit, extra main damage on your Skylander, and that right there is what makes the Spitfire effect possible. Because right now I'm using basically Spitfire, not all of his. Well, I don't use this because it gets rid of his dark look. I think I'm actually gonna reset him just because like he's not even max level anyway. So I'll reset him just for this, just to kind of show you that the Spitfire effect really has this effect. Literally, I'm not using the vehicle because I think the vehicle kind of factors into the Spitfire effect as well. Oh, high volt, nice. So you're gonna see me level 1, no upgrades, and I'm gonna be doing fine. I'm gonna be doing very fine. I get it's level 1. It's only the first chapter, but you will see me do literally fine damage, but I'm still able to kill enemies pretty quickly. Again, Supercharger's enemies are very easy. Very, very easy. The vehicle sections, of course, they're gonna be their own difficulty. They're actually gonna be some difficult moments in those. Mainly in the arena. The arena is actually very, very tough. This Chompy can actually be pretty scary. I won't even lie. I feel like this Chompy is probably the hardest enemy in the game, and I'm not even gonna cap on that. Like, this Chompy is, like, no fucking joke. So, you just do your damage and shit. So, I'm doing 24 damage per strike, and then the crits. That is another thing that makes this game so easy. The crit system. The crit system, for some reason, got buffed like crazy in this game. Like, it's not even funny. Like, it got majorly buffed. You do so much damage in crits, but you also do crits way more often than you're supposed to, unlike the other games. Which also like, it gets to a point where you're basically doing crits 100% of the time, and that's not even a joke. That is genuinely something that can happen. But people using Spitfire at the very beginning, they're like, oh my god, Spitfire is so good, I'm on Nightmare mode, and he's just destroying this enemy. Believe me, Spitfire is not as good as he comes out to be. But that's just, again, the Spitfire effect. You are being tricked by superchargers into thinking he's actually better than he actually is. And he really is not better. Obviously, when you get more upgrades, he gets just unnaturally better, as every Skylander could. But that just plays into the supercharger phenomenon, or whatever, even more. The vehicle sections are the only hard parts of the game. I think everybody can at least agree on that. In Nuzlocke, people will never lose a Skylander to a foot section. Ever. I swear. Well, besides maybe Bandit Train, but maybe that's Bandit Train. Holy yeah. But I just think it's so interesting that this game's balancing is so weird. But I think another thing I want to talk about is the fact that every Skylander is good in this game. Yes, including Fiesta. Yes, I said that. Fiesta is actually fine in this game because this game is so easy. That's like putting Fiesta in SSA. Of course he's gonna be good. That game has no nightmare mode. It's simple. The enemies die to it. This game is the SSA of the jumping games. Pretty much. That's all I want. That's pretty much the easiest way I can describe it. We're going. So obviously, this is the PMR system where you can choose a reward. The real rewards will start going at like the 20s area, and that's when you get your damage buffs and stuff like that. I'm feeling the XP is pretty fucking goated in this game. This game is really good if you want to level up your Skylanders. It's easily a really good, useful game for the fact that you can swap... Hugo, shut up. If you didn't know, you can swap paths with any Skylander in this game. All you have to do is get to rank 74, and you get this upgrade where Persephone can basically switch paths for you on any Skylander, not just series Skylanders, which is actually really good. That's another thing that makes Supercharger so good. It's a very useful game. Not only useful, but it has a really good system for getting XP. It's really easy. All you have to do is just get the chaos. That's pretty much it. Okay, I need to change my controls. No. Thank you. So I would recommend using that controls theme, by the way, because it means I just have to use my thumbstick to move the vehicle way better. What was I saying? Fuck, I kind of forgot what I was saying. Okay, so as I was saying, the XP stuff. So obviously Deer showed this in his video, but all you have to do to get like really fucking good XP is to go on easy mode, do the chaos fight, and right when you're about to defeat chaos, switch to nightmare mode, and then get the final hit on him, and you will gain 17 levels from level 0 to level 17. Insane XP. This game, some of the best XP in the series, probably the best XP in the series. Like it's insane. It's actually insane. Vehicle parts are actually I won't lie, they're not as bad as people make them out to be. Obviously it's subjective, but it's just different gameplay. It's more, I guess the best way to describe it is you have to have a different approach, and that's what people get caught off by. Like you gotta use a different approach than normal. So obviously you can't just stand in front of them and just mash your primary. You gotta go around, do your stuff and all that. I'm using Burn Cycle because it's just a fun vehicle. I'm not using Hot Streak because well, I don't want the damage buff for Spitfire. You just become extra OP, and that's another thing I want to bring up. Another reason that makes the Spitfire effect possible is because when people play Superchargers, sometimes they only have access to the Hot Streak, and because they only have the hot streak and just stealth elf and spitfire, they're automatically getting the supercharged version of spitfire, which means they're doing more damage, which means they're gonna assume spitfire just does that anyway. So they're just gonna assume that spitfire does this ridiculous amount of damage anyway with this extra HP, but that's just part of the supercharge buff. And it again plays into the spitfire effect. Why am I yapping so much? Yo, top speed thing. I don't need it. I think I'm using like all the things I need for this vehicle. Maybe. This vehicle has pretty bad armor, but it's fine. As long as you just dodge good, you should be fine. What are my thoughts in this game? My thoughts in this game is, I like it. I think over time, I like it less just because I realize just how the roster function, the balancing kind of work. Because, like, if every Skylander is OP, that's a good thing. Because it means you can use any Skylander you want, and you can do really good. That's a good thing. But another thing is that there's no challenge in the game. And the only challenge is when you're not using your Skylander. And that's why, in the UNM rules for this game, they actually changed the bounties so that you actually get vehicle bounties instead of Skylander bounties, because the vehicles are the only thing that matter in this game. You can use any Skylander you want, but you're always going to die to a vehicle section anyway. And that, I think that's kind of an interesting thing with this game, is that it makes it a pretty unique UNM game. Because of that, I think it's actually great. I think it's one of the best UNM games easily, because it's just so unique. And it's still a short game. It's still a very short game. See, it's interesting because, like, we found some cheese that makes, well, the vehicle section a little bit easier. Most people will die to the car arena. I think we all, definitely died on the car arena at some point. It's pretty difficult. I would say that. I tried it out today, and I got through the first arena fine, easily. I was just coasting, kiting, stuff like that. And then my game crashed before I got the Turbo Teeth. Now, Turbo Teeth, there was a cheese found for Turbo Teeth that makes them a lot easier. Basically makes them a free fight, which means you just have the boss then right after, which is great. Vehicle difficulty honestly just kind of depends on how good you are at adapting. The vehicle segments are very interesting because of that. Like, with enemies, they're always in the same spot. But with the vehicle sections, the enemies, they're almost never in the same spot. They're always doing something different. They're never... I don't know, the AI is less predictable. Does that sound right? Maybe that's why it makes it so hard. That's why it's harder for people to play this game than, like, other games and the vehicle sections. Alright, we got our land star, pretty easy. I'm not going to be doing the sea or the water sections. I don't really feel like it. I just want to get through with your basic... Obviously, people who play this game for the first time aren't going to have any sea or sky vehicles anyway. I just want to get... I want to get the authentic Superchargers experience, which is basically just, well... I already kind of failed at it because I don't have Hot Streak. But... Okay, here. Let me show you the difference in damage real quick. So I'm doing 24 for a strike, 30 for just a basic dash. Alright, so if I change the Hot Streak... Let's see if we get our supercharged vehicle. Very epic. Obviously, the vehicle is very important with this game, so you want to get that extra damage out of it, which that's actually helpful. The extra damage on the vehicles is very appreciated, because the only thing that matters in this game. So now I'm doing 34 hits and 42 for a dash. Went up by 13 damage. Insane. Insane for the dash. 54 for a crit. Look how much damage I do just because of that one change. That is the Spitfire effect. You are basically forced to use a busted version of Spitfire from the get-go. No choice. You just have to do it. Because the game only gives you Hot Streak. Unless you're, actually getting more Skylanders. But people are very safe with Hot Streak. It's a very easy vehicle to use. It's got a boost. People like the boost. It's very easy to use. It's got really good stats. And, that's what makes it appealing, which means people are going to be using it more, which means people are going to be using the supercharged version of Spitfire and Hot Streak more. that makes sense. This is an absolute fucking yap session, but I just wanted to talk about that. And look at the damage I'm doing. It's insane damage. Like, for a VV game, it's kind of crazy the damage I'm doing. I mean, I don't know, but like once I get my like little spin combo, like you'll be doing really good. But that's because it's superchargers, and that's why Spitfire is doing good right now. It's because it's superchargers. If I put him in Imaginators without all these buffs and all that, he will be doing horribly. Not because I'm doing horribly, but because he's not able to keep up with the game. I get that the game is just way more like harder overall. Enemies are spongier in Imaginators. I get that. So just use the superchargers in hard mode, and you'll kind of see what I mean. You'll get like a similar experience with superchargers, just in general. So yeah, this is basically a point I wanted to get across. This like Spitfire is doing like 68 like the crit just got a major fucking increase in this game, and I don't know why, but sure, if it makes older characters feel good to you, well, to be fair, VV Engine did a really good about older characters, let's be honest here. Anybody who complains about older characters in VV Engine and Small Force saying, they're pretty bad, you don't keep up, that's a complete lie. They still do pretty fucking good. If not, they just pretty much on par. It takes the same amount of hits for Spyro to kill your basic Chapter 2 enemy in Giants the same as it is in Swap Force. Even on max, on max scaling Giants at least. Holy yap. I do want to get the PMR buffs, like the ones that actually increase the damage, just to show you just how much of a difference it can really make. That's kind of why like testing superchargers in hard mode in this game might actually be better, because you don't get the PMR buffs, which means you're not getting any increased stats and all that. So yeah. Ugh. Superchargers just a wild game. It's a wild game. These lock puzzles, I genuinely think it's like the first. Well, unless you're going for the sparks, like if you're not going for the sparks, then you're just gonna be going straight to the exit anyway. So that means you won't really need Blaster Mine. That's another thing about Blaster Mine. Blaster Mine actually does good in this game because again, superchargers is so easy. I need to test him out in Imaginators just to see how well he does. I don't think he'll do that good, is he? Well, to be fair, if he can kind of handle medium enemies, then he should do pretty well. And we're nearly at the end now, because you know superchargers being superchargers and all that. So I think I made a little bit of a point, hopefully, just to get the message across about the Spitfire effect. Like, it just makes a massive difference with all these buffs. I definitely want to keep going with the series, if I'm even gonna start it, just to show just how much your Spitfire will just gain from this game. And as soon as I play him in Imaginators, ooh, he's gonna do stinky. He's gonna do stinky, big stinky. But yeah. Alright. Very nice. Really good vehicle. I mean, the Hot Streak it isn't the best vehicle, UNM standards or whatever, but it's still a good vehicle. It's still a very good vehicle. I think my only problem with it is that for some reason the primary, when you first hold it, it does a lot of damage, but the more you hold it, the less damage it does. I don't know why it does that. It's weird. That's why the other vehicle is better, because it's constant good damage, and not this rare moment where you're actually doing good damage. I kind of want to leave this here. I will continue this at some point. I just wanted to get this Spitfire effect message across. Hopefully I didn't make it too complicated. I definitely yapped way too fucking much. But yeah, it's gonna be a pretty long video and stuff, shit like that. you kind of get my point though, right? Like, I'm level 1, no upgrades, and I'm doing like 42 damage, 32 damage a hit. It's a bit much for a level 1 Skylander with no upgrades. I think we can all agree on that. That really shows just how much Superchargers really buffed all these characters. The critical hit is even stronger in this game than all of the games. And another thing, the enemies in this game are super weak. They're SSA almost. SSA type HP almost. But that's pretty much it. I might be back to doing this. But yeah, let me quickly get my upgrades. But I'll see you guys next time. And yeah, no wait, hold on. Let's get a look at the Flame NATO. Just simple Flame NATO. I think he should be doing around 15 damage, maybe 12, 13 damage. Wait, no, I think it's gonna be doing 22 damage a hit for the Flame NATO, and without it, it does around 10 damage. What? Wait. 14 with a buff? I think it's gonna be doing 10 damage. I mean, look at the 21 with the crit. But the yeah, no, look, 14 with buff. Okay, that's still not even the greatest damage, but it's fine. It's fine. So let's see this now. It should be doing 10 damage because I played him in Imaginators with it, and his tornadoes were doing like 10. Yeah, look, 10 damage. That's pretty fucking bad. And in Imaginators, the crit is like less good, so you're just getting 10 damage all the time. But in this game, since they buffed the crit, you'll get that occasional 15. There you go. Hopefully this sheds some light, I guess, on the whole Superchargers thing. But I just wanted to kind of talk about it because it's been something that has been like, I don't know, like, because like, a lot of people say, oh, Spitfire is so OP. He's literally the greatest Skylander. I'm sorry, he's really not. It's just the game making him seem way more OP than he actually is, and that's what I call the Spitfire effect. All right, and there you go. There's a Spitfire effect, and all that. So.